Good day, everyone. I wanted to do a quick reading. I'm not going to have a lot of time and might get interrupted. I'm waiting for a very important call that hopefully will come in soon. But I wanted to go ahead and try to get this live event going, do a quick reading from our book, The Secret Teachings of the Tao Te Ching. And let's see. Welcome, Dee. Unfortunately, today is going to be a little bit short, but the secret teachings of the Tao Te Ching. We're just going to do this for now, and welcome, Goddess Naisha. And perhaps next time we can get our reading in from the Yi Ching. I think we would be on hexagram number 43. I am down to the crunch, still working on my slideshow presentation for my interview tomorrow on live television, which I'm not looking forward to be interviewed for art project at the New Arts program. So Philip Glass will be performing sometime this month. He is amazing. I went to the concert maybe about 5-6 years ago. Yeah, 6 years ago. It's right before my eldest started university, and now he's in graduate school. Listening to this gentleman's music, it was the oddest thing. It's like he plays piano, I think. Yeah, it says it right there. He plays the piano. And as I'm listening to his composition, I literally see the energy like flowing and moving. And, I closed my eyes and it was just astounding. So if you ever get a chance to either see Philip Glass perform or see a recording of any of his live concerts. So this is going to be at the New Arts program. The New Arts program is hosting Philip Glass, but the actual concert, I think, I'm not sure where that will be. It's going to be over at the church. There's a local church where it will be, which is where it was 6 years ago. It was amazing. But you can see yours truly right there. I'm going to have a project wall that will be an ongoing, growing art project for 12 weeks. I'm going to start with a dot. That will be my first, a dot. And there's not an opening reception. It's actually the television interview will be open, will be like the opening reception, but there will be a closing reception. And like I said, I'm waiting for a phone call. If it comes in, I might have to put the mic on mute for just a moment while I speak to the people. It won't take me long. So I have to finish my thing for that. So let's go ahead and take a nice deep centering breath to welcome us into this sacred space. Beautiful. I am not going to have time to post this on Facebook, but if you are on your social media, please go ahead and do so. Let's see, will I have time? I like to, as they used to say in the 70s in Chicago, like to shuck and jive. Shuck and jive. All right, I'm going to go ahead and post this right quick. Oh, that's beautiful. Let's see. And there we go. Okay. The Secret Teachings of the Tao Te Ching by Mantak Chia and Dao Huang. And where were we? Last week, we began with chapter 1, Wordless Uttering of the Tao. And we attempted to define the Tao. Now, the communicable Tao and incommunicable Tao we're going to explore, and the inner voice. However, I will not go over the exercises because, it's definitely worth purchasing a copy of this book, and you can get it on Amazon for cheap, 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 like $11. And it's nice. The quality of the paper is decent. It's not that newsprint stuff. Okay. Hold on one moment. Let me get back to the screen. So we have the communicable Tao. At the same time, let's see. I'll read the last little paragraph of last week. To define the Tao is to chant with Lao Tzu, to laugh with Chuang Tzu, to interpret Confucius, to understand Buddha, to love Christ, to listen to Muhammad, to follow Moses, to view the cosmos, and to embrace the ultimate. Communicable Tao and incommunicable Tao. Communicable Tao. At the same time, the Tao is expressed in many ways through our gifted power of communication. Oral communication is primary, resulting from the power of the voice, the manifestation of inner consciousness, and our spiritual trumpet. Verbalization is our first approach to living an independent life. Finding the gateway to the Tao through the breath of life and vibration of sound. At the time that oral communication no longer served our human needs and expectations, letters and numbers were employed symbolically, marking the beginning of civilization as a cultural process. The voice is a powerful force that can reach from one person, dead or alive, to the multitudes. The voice can express the will and permit the self to be expressed, to touch hearts, to justify morality, and verify deeds accomplished. Our inner justice is profoundly different from the legal practice of justice for the sake of justice. It is a direct spiritual communication that goes beyond ego anticipation and social culture. It is an actualization process of human willpower. Lao Tzu states, the Tao that is voiced is no longer that of eternal Tao. The name that has been written is no longer that of eternal name. The Tao that is voiced defines the origin of the universe through subjective expression. This is, in essence, the communicable Tao of inner self that connects deeply to both our microbiological and psychological self, as well as our macrocosmic and celestial self. The name that has been written extensively objectifies any subjective expression of this inner voice. Anyone who has reached his or her prime can verbalize and name. Upon dying, the voice and name are extinguished by the will, enabling the person to enter into immortal and eternal life. There we go. Inner voice. The inner voice is the most sacred spiritual vessel. Let's read that again. The inner voice is the most sacred spiritual vessel. Without this inner voice, God is not alive. The Tao is not present. The self is not active. The inner voice expresses and characterizes the beauty, meaning, and strength of life. It is sometimes silent, at other times, it is immeasurably powerful. We often turn a deaf ear to this inner voice, refusing to abide by it or give it credence. We choose instead to rely on the external world, on external authority and discipline, to define our life as something meaningful, leaving us with confusion and distortion of our life's true meaning. In order to establish a clear relationship with the sacred vessel of our inner voice, the first set of meditation practices in this book begins with finding, restoring, and listening to our inner voice in any given circumstance or crisis. So then it continues by giving instructions on how to develop and attune your inner voice. Let's get that. There we go. And let's see. I'll go ahead and share these. There's not too many. Sit upright with your spine straight. Be simultaneously relaxed and alert. Place one hand on top of another and place both hands over your heart. Listen intently to the sound of silence. You will begin to recognize a combination of spiritual voice and personal voice. Pay attention to the most immediate direction and clear message. This is the manifestation of your inner voice. Verbalize it inwardly, whether or not it makes sense to you. Name it with no preconceived notion. Meditate upon it as a part of the visualized journey of your life before it actually takes place. Connect your own name with it. See how it conforms to you and your personality. Make it work for you. It is a divine plan, and your decision must be made now. And so there are the hand movements to show you uh, how to sit, how to hold your hands. And of course, I know this kind of looks like she's hunching over, but you don't want to have your shoulders up to your ears, hunched over like that. I'm not quite sure why that's so like that, but more like this. See, the spine is, let's see, the spine is upright. The shoulders are down. Shoulders are down rather than up to the ears like that. Not sure why this is like that. And your heart, receiving energy down and receiving energy in. When the hands, heart, and mind are unified, the inner voice speaks. Incommunicable Tao. We have discussed the first part of Lao Tzu's first two sentences, the Tao that is voiced and the name that has been written. The second part of the two sentences warns us that the eternal Tao cannot be voiced and the eternal name cannot be written. This demonstrates to us also that what has been voiced can never be the eternal Tao. What has been written can never be the eternal name. The eternal Tao can never be expressed completely and comprehensively. In attempting to do so, the Tao becomes lost. The mouth cannot express an image, a colorful vision, or an awareness of the total environment while simultaneously penetrating the subtlety of the Tao. It is for this reason that voicing the Tao will automatically and instantly disconnect the utterance from the eternal Tao. When an inner message is verbalized, the speaker's true communication is lost, and the listener will interpret the received message according to whatever she or he may desire, fear, or wish. The eternal name is thus lost. Before something is named, it is subjected to how the observer regards it. Before Lao Tzu used the word Tao, many other words may possibly have been chosen. When something is named, changes occur due to the nature of the act of naming. Thus, the word Tao has become a fixed word with fixed meaning, far and away from Lao Tzu's initial vision, and it is forever changing. This is why the Tao has had many names. God has many names, and we have had many names. What has been expressed is not that which can be described. No matter how hard we try, we are bound to fail. I think we'll go ahead and read the next one next time. That would be chapter 2, verse 1 and 3. So, how'd you like that reading? You know, it's sort of like when you, what just popped into my head just now is like, say you're trying to convey to a friend an incredible, funny joke or something that happened earlier in the day and you're trying to share it, but that person wasn't there. So they weren't able to experience the nuance and the energy of that particular moment. And so you find yourself as you begin to speak and you're trying to explain it, and you just see the person's eyes sort of glaze over, and it's like, it just had to be there. Some things just can't be put into words. It's like inside of your being, you feel it, you know it, but human language, it just gets in the way because it is limited. It's limited by our limited physicality. And sometimes, those emotions and feelings that you have, and they're so beautiful and they're so deep, but the moment you try to open your mouth and express it, they just drop flat. That's when you're trying to bring the unmanifested into manifestation, into the physical world, trying to translate the spiritual, the energy into the physical. The physical is dense and gross and heavy, and it just can't contain it. But it doesn't mean that you don't try and you don't keep receiving and opening to it. Sort of like when you connect with someone that you really love. And let's say, whether, it can be a romantic love or even, pure platonic friendship, but you have that one person where you don't even have to speak to each other. You don't even have to use your words. You just understand each other. That energy is just profound, and your energy and their energy just commingles, and it becomes this beautiful, harmonious balance. And then somebody might ask you, why do you love that person? Why do you like being around? It's like you can't always put it into words. It's just the energy. It's just the energy that's there. And so for myself, practicing that, meaning trying to meet that space and connect with that energy and just to feel it. It's beautiful, it's edifying. It's like that fertilizer that you must continue to sprinkle onto the seed and the ground to help it to nourish and grow properly. So anyway, I will leave this here. I hope that you enjoyed the reading. And thank you everyone for being here. Welcome Mushroom. Welcome Vicky Washington, Katrina Stone, Divine L, Goddess Naisha. Thank you all for being here. Mushroom says, similarly, if you get upset or are troubled with something in the morning, then you are going to have the same negativity throughout the day. You will, unless you allow yourself to pause, breathe, and take control of that energy as it's moving through you. You know, think of a torus, a donut shape. You're in the center, pure and open and ready to receive. And you're receiving energy, heavenly energy, which is divine yang or yang, and then earthly energy, pulling that up through your feet, divine yin energy. So bringing the yang energy down into your head, into your crown, and bringing the yin energy up, and that energy circulates. So if you take both of your hands in front of you, sort of like this, at that sort of oval shape, and you're the vessel right down in the middle. It's like you're the donut with the hole in the middle, and allow that energy to go up and down and move all around and just cleanse you out. Take charge of your energy, because you don't have to have that same negative energy throughout the day. You are in control of yourself and how you respond and how you react and what you choose to connect to. So yeah, you got to be very careful how you begin your, yes, Vicky, you got it, girlfriend. The microcosmic orbit meditation. Holla. That is it. That is it. All right, guys, I got to get going. I have a client coming soon, and I want to chill for a bit before they come. So let's take a moment and take a nice, deep, centering breath. Let's take a moment to remember our ancestors and all those who have come before us. I wish you peace and great bliss. And here's something. Don't take it morbid, but take it as it is. Be mindful of your death today. Be mindful of your impermanence on this physical plane. Not in a negative way, but in a positive way. So hopefully remembering that this life is fragile, that we could be gone from our loved ones in an instant. How differently would you choose to walk through this day? How differently will I choose to walk through this day? Much love, much love. Until next time, I wish you peace and great bliss. Keep going, keep going.